The New Zealand Today podcast was made with the support of New Zealand On Air. Cheers, guys! 3 years ago, I met Karen, the voice behind an infamous phone message.
I'll get my $20 or she's gonna get 20 fucking whacks.
But Karen was not the person I expected. She was charismatic, funny, and genuinely lovely to talk to.
Fuck off! Fuck off! Fuck off! Fuck off! Fuck the fucking off!
Now we're doing a podcast where we can share our thoughts.
Phil's passwords and that said, I said, I don't give a stuff. Finally, good fucking job, thieving fucking gnome.
Keep you up to date with the latest news from around New Zealand.
Whatever she was wearing, it was bloody hideous.
You're wearing a camo sweater. And give valuable life advice.
If the police tell you can't do something, don't believe them.
I'm Guy Williams, and this is the New Zealand Today podcast with Karen Hill. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of the New Zealand Today podcast, a podcast accompaniment to the New Zealand Today television show. My name is Guy Williams. I'm one of New Zealand's most premium volunteer journalists, and I'm joined by my co-host, Karen Hill, an expert commentator, debt collector. How would you describe yourself, Karen?
A YouTuber. I just like to talk. And I like to voice my opinion on things a hell of a friggin' lot.
You're a commentator.
Yeah, I should have been. When I went to college, I used to skip college and go down the river and swim and smoke cigarettes. And I was dumb because I did have a good brain and I wasted it. Because I got expelled at 14, so I just went and got a job at the match factory before I went home. Because I thought I'd better do something.
Karen, this podcast has been going for about 12 seconds, and already I'm off tangent, but I'm like, wow.
Oh, it was because my best friend worked there, so otherwise I'd go along there.
Yeah, that makes sense. It was a lot of fun at the match factory, but I wanted to describe a little bit what this podcast is. Karen, do you have any idea what you'd like the podcast to be?
No, because I've never done one, and I just go with the flow.
Have you listened to a podcast before?
No.
Have you heard of a podcast
Yeah,
existing?
because I did one with...
Wait, just 2 seconds ago you said you've never done a podcast
No,
before.
no. Oh, yeah, but it was on the phone.
Yeah, that's
It was in last time lockdown with the guy from The Edge. I can't think of his name.
Jimbo. Tommy.
No.
Hamo. You've got to put an O. If you work in radio, you've got to put an O on the edge of the name.
Oh, right. I
Kazzo.
can't remember.
Well, welcome to the podcast,
Yes.
Guy and Kazzo. We're going to cover all the news, all the stories you want to know around New Zealand that matter to you. Karen, are you excited?
Yeah, but I'm more of a Kazza than a Kazzo.
Kazzo, okay.
Kazza.
Oh,
I
thanks.
like Kazza.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a couple of guys used to call me Kazza, but they've both passed. But
What happened to them?
they died. But that guy that who flew out the truck, the thieving gnome who stole off me while I was asleep, he passed away.
Wait. What you just said there was one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. And you said you've said this to me before, but I'm sure this information isn't passed into my ears. You're saying a thieving gnome who stole from you on a truck has passed
stole
away.
away in my home. Went round my house, stealing my stuff while I was sleeping. And when I got up in the morning, I go in the cupboard and my tin food had all gone and my meat all gone out the fridge. And I thought, hey, you arsehole. And then I had this money. It was my daughter's father's money that he'd kept to give
So you got
to
robbed?
give my boys
How'd you
to
get
give
robbed?
to his grandson.
And why is he a thieving
Because
gnome?
I was asleep. And he's walking around my house because I was letting him stay there because he was moving to Auckland and he'd given his house up, which I'd helped him clean and move stuff. And that's what he did to me.
I'm so sorry to hear. So this was your friend.
Anyway, yeah, a friend for nearly 30 years. And everybody was sending me messages, oh, Phil's passwords and that's it. I said, I don't give a stuff. Finally, good fucking job, thieving fucking gnome. He's on my YouTube. That's YouTube story.
Okay, you're just calling him gnome. He's not actually like a short man wearing a
Oh,
hat.
very short man.
Oh, is he wearing a hat and kind of like Santa Claus kind of get up, but maybe
No, he just got called the gnome.
the
Yeah.
the gnome of Stokes Valley.
Yeah. No, he was from Taita.
Tighter.
Yeah.
And where would you get robbed?
in my own home while I'm sleeping on the sofa.
I was just wondering where the home was. Oh, so you let
Oh,
him...
it's Stokes Valley.
Yeah, so you let him sleep in your home.
Yeah. I gave
your
him
bed.
my bed. I slept out on the lounge.
Man, you're the best person. You make him sleep on the couch.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I gave him the bedroom and I slept on the couch. And he's stealing off me. He's walking around my house stealing while I'm sleeping.
Did you...
Do you know, it's because it took me a few days to find out all the stuff that he'd taken.
Because it was subtle.
And then he'd got a new phone number, but he left his book behind of phone numbers. So I rang up his daughter and she went, no, I haven't got Dad's address. Bullshit to myself. Yeah. And then he had this girl's number that lived next door to his daughter, which I knew. And I rang her up and says, oh, hi, I'm a friend of Phil's and I need his phone number because I've got his book here with all his numbers in it. And she gave it to me. Oh, just a minute, and I rang him and he put up the phone with her. I said, hello, you thieving fucking bastard. I said, I got your fucking phone number, didn't I? He said, hung up on me. Wouldn't answer the phone
obviously.
again.
What other result were you going to get? You came in so hot.
But I had to be in quick and fast.
No, you didn't.
And he would have been going, how the fuck did she get my fucking number? Because I've got a fucking brain.
Yeah, no, but Karen, no, you played this completely wrong because you should have been subtly trying to inquire. You should have almost got a friend to call up, find out where he's living so you can go and steal your stuff back.
He was in Auckland.
You could have got a friend to help out, I don't know.
What a bastard that COVID didn't get him.
Yeah, okay. So he passed away just recently.
Yeah, apparently he was drinking with his son-in-law and he wanted a pie. This was on a Saturday night and the son-in-law went and got it for him and he went to bed and he never woke up again. You know, I'm pissed off that he didn't die of pain.
Okay, Karen, he has. I know he did you wrong, but he has passed. So let's have a little bit of respect for him.
66. Good job.
Good job. Okay. All right, let's get into news from around the country. Important stories that affect all New Zealanders. So I'm going to hit you with some slightly breaking news from New Zealand.
Okay.
Marlborough's notorious town centre tiles claim another slip victim. Have you heard of the Picton... It's not sad, Karen. It's sad.
Why is it
A rugby
sad?
fan who injured himself near Picton's new library has joined calls to replace the slippery tiles in Marlborough's town centres. Ralph Martin was on his way to the Thirsty Pig to watch a Super Rugby final on Saturday. I landed on my knee and almost went over. I caught myself in time. Well, he didn't even slip over. He caught himself in time.
What Super Rugby final was he at?
I don't even know.
No, because it's the Rugby Championship being played.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's not an important detail. The important
It's very important.
No, the important detail is that Picton has slippery tile. This is like one of many stories.
The most important thing is that we beat Australia.
Yeah.
We beat Argentina.
Yeah.
Geordie Barrett got sent off, and it was not his fault. He couldn't avoid that guy's face.
He kicked a guy in the face.
He didn't do it on purpose.
He kicked a guy in the face.
So he's up here, and he can see him down
I
there.
don't know about the rules of rugby, but I reckon if
neither do the rugby commentators. They go, bloody hell.
I reckon if
they
you
could
sprint
not
someone
believe Geordie
in the face
Barrett got a
with
red
your
card.
rugby boots.
Yellow.
Yeah.
Yellow, not red, not red,
No, but
not
it's like,
red.
It's like I hear you, and I think most of New Zealand probably has the same
But
opinion
what I
as you.
didn't know, which they do now, is after a player gets a red card, 20 minutes later they can put someone on to replace
That's
them.
good, 'cause
where once
red
upon
cards
a
ruin the
time,
game.
red card, you had to go in down to the changing rooms.
Yeah, but you got to admit though, you can't have. I know that it was an accident. I don't think he's a dirty player.
No way are any of the Barretts
But if you
dirty
jump
players.
high with your leg in the air and you karate kick someone in the face,
but
there's got to be some
He
repercussions
brings
for
the
that.
leg up to protect his own ribs.
Yeah, but you unfortunately you're not allowed to do that.
What? Protect yourself.
What was he protecting his? They
go into your ribs.
I guess you won this one. I got obliterated
I
on that.
bloody oath I won it. You don't even know. You know who does? Guy doesn't care who wins the Olympics as long as he enjoyed it.
No.
I go, when New Zealand's playing, he goes, it doesn't matter to me who wins.
No. I do care who wins. I have a favourite, but I'm like New Zealand.
Who's
I
your
feel like we
favourite?
don't. Who's my favourite in the Olympics?
Yeah.
I love Simone Biles. I was impressed by her and her story. She's the Olympic. You don't even know who that is.
No, I don't.
The American gymnast.
Well, see, that's why.
I love the
He likes Americans.
I love the
Why would you like dickheads who put a dickhead in charge of the most powerful country in the world?
I don't like Americans. I like Simone Biles. I don't think she was the one who put.
Well, she's American.
She is American, but we don't judge all Americans because of one president.
Un-America.
What's your tip there? You've got to un-America. What does that mean?
Un-America.
Yeah.
You go and live in another country.
Yeah.
Get that American out of
So
you.
your tip to Simone Biles, the greatest Olympic gymnast of all time, is to...
No, I do know who you're talking about. Yeah.
She had to quit because she was having, I think a mental health battle or
Yeah.
something like that. And I was quite proud of her for that. And I thought she was an inspirational story.
No, I do
and being
know.
like an African-American athlete, just seeing the racist attacks she got. Same with the...
I like the black runners winning. I do. Yeah.
When is a white guy winning?
Especially...
What race have you seen a white guy win?
Peter Snell.
The swimming. That was 100...
No.
That was before they let black guys win.
No, Peter Snell never did a sprint anyway.
Here's a story. Here's an interesting New Zealand story that I'm going to get in a bit of trouble from, but it's an interesting theory. I don't know if this is true. This could be bullshit. John Walker, right? One of New Zealand's greatest Olympians. He was sexy as hell, running down the strip. He wore black clothes,
They all
obviously.
wear black.
They all wear black. Actually, New Zealand wore, in Tokyo, New Zealand wore white because it was so hot in the sun. So bummed you out there.
Yeah.
1-1, Guy and Karen.
Out there.
No, okay. So, goddamn, John Walker. This is my interesting story.
My girlfriend loved him.
We don't talk about him. Your girlfriend?
Yeah, a girlfriend that.
You mean just a friend who's a girl?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
sorry, I got too excited. Guy, what?
I'm not a lesbian.
You're allowed to be a lesbian.
I don't want to be one.
There's no, but I'm just saying it's
I'm
fine.
heterosexual.
But if anyone is, it's fine. It's fine if anyone is.
Of course it is.
Now we go on tangents.
give-
Okay, just hear me here. I'm going to tell the story. All right, so John Walker, who ran in a black uniform at the time, had long hair, he was 60. He's one of New Zealand's greatest ever athletes. No one can argue with that. He's a legend. However, an interesting thing about, I think, the 72 Montreal Olympics where he won gold in the 1500 is that was the Olympics that all the African nations boycotted because New Zealand was touring South Africa with our rugby team. I'm pretty sure that's true, during apartheid South Africa. So as a result of New Zealand's horrible touring and supporting a racist regime, John Walker still was probably the favourite, but his main competitors weren't there because of New Zealand. And we never talk about that in New Zealand. I just think that's an interesting part of the story.
Yeah,
I'm not saying his gold's not worth anything less. I'm just saying.
And that's way early, really, because when New Zealand said they won't tour South Africa, breakaway All Blacks formed the Cavaliers, and the Cavaliers went over there and played South Africa, and the World Cup started in 87, the very first Rugby World Cup.
Yeah.
And South Africa couldn't come and play.
Yeah.
But none of the Cavaliers were allowed to play for the All Blacks.
Oh, that's good.
And that's why we got such a young team and had a young captain, David Kirk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was a heartwarming New Zealand story. I told
It
a negative
is.
one. You had a positive one.
It is.
Time now for one of what I hope will be one of the greatest segments in the podcast, and the podcast has already been this already. It's time for what I call story time with Karen. Now, Karen, I have stories that I've heard from you, whether it be when we've gone out to dinner or doing a live show or something like that, that I think are worth telling again. And the story I wanted to hear on episode 1 was, quite a serious one. The time you've actually been to jail.
Yeah. When I was 17. In 1975, I took like 3 tabs of acid because I thought they weren't working. And they started working, and I ended up getting to my brother's place because I just so didn't know what I was doing, where I was real lost. And they were having a party, and so my brother rang an ambulance because he really didn't know what to do with me.
You were just like wasted.
Yeah, and they go and they tell the doctors that I've been taking this acid, so they knew what I'd had and how to deal with me. And of course they sedated me and I slept, and they rang the police, and the police came to the hospital and searched my bag and found 3 tabs of acid. So they charged me with possession of narcotics because there was no Class A, no Class B, C, anything back in those days, so I was just charged with possession of narcotics. And when I went to probation service, I read the recommendation, and he goes, I recommend Borstal training. And I went, what? So you that I should go to jail? And he goes, yeah. I said, you're an arsehole. And
Well, you said that to the judge.
No, to the probation officer.
Okay, that's not a good move, but yeah.
Yeah, and I went
But
and saw
he's
him
an arsehole, so you're
the
factually
night
correct.
before, and I read the report, and he said, I'll see you tomorrow, Karen. I said, no, you fucking won't, you fucking dickhead.
Well, you're saying this to the probation officer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, you fucking arsehole. You won't be seeing me tomorrow. And I went home, packed some bags, and rang a friend, and we hitchhiked to Auckland.
What were you doing in Auckland? Please don't say
I ended
more.
up at this party in Henderson that was a bikie's house.
Uh-oh.
And I said to my girlfriend, I don't like it here. I've got a bad vibe. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
And she went, no, we'll stay. And I said, no, I don't like it. I'm going to go. I said, come with me. She went, no. And I said, I'm going to the police station down the road that I saw and I'm going to hand myself in. And I went in there to the police station.
Good.
And I said, yeah,
good. Oh,
I
good.
think you've got
I
a
mean-
warrant for me. Which anyway, they took me to Auckland Central and they wouldn't arrest me. They left me out the front. After about 2 hours, I thought, oh, fuck this, I'm going. And they come out, went, come on, Karen, it's just come through. So then they flew me to Wellington.
That's sick. Free flight.
I went to Mount Eden for 3 days first.
Oh, shit, that's not sick.
I was like, whoa, this is scary shit, going to a woman's prison.
That is scary.
And,
Yeah, Mount Eden's
when I get
scary
there,
now,
when
yeah.
I get there, it's got 3 cells with 4 beds in each cell, and these older ladies, and they all looked after me like I was the little young daughter,
Oh, that's
granddaughter.
nice. Well, you literally were a child.
Yeah, I was, and you didn't even cook your meals there. All our meals came from the men's side. So you're eating away, and you got a bit of paper on a note and your mashed potatoes.
What?
I got a bit of paper in my mouth.
Yeah, what did it say?
Oh, I can't remember. I just remembered there was notes in them.
What did it say, like, want a date or something like that?
Yeah, it's crap like that.
Amazing.
And they flew me down. I went to Wellington Central for 3 days. So I said to them, can you ring up my uncle, John George Harrop? Because the police knew him, because he was a burglar, used to be. But anyway, he's still alive, Uncle John.
Shout out to Uncle John.
Shout out to Uncle John.
I like how you said he was a burglar, like that was his profession. What do you do for a living? I'm a burglar.
Yeah, well, that's what he did. But he was he was a repiler.
No, okay. I understand that he doesn't have a business card that says burglar on it.
Yeah.
He was a repiler who did burgling in his on the side as his spare time.
Yeah,
but you were just so
But he never did house burglaries. They always did shops and
wholesome.
factories.
Wholesome. No, victimless crime. But I like how
The
you...
insurance companies were the victims.
Okay, you reckon? Okay.
Well, I mean, they
What if they're not
deserve to be. How they treat people.
You know, what if they're not insured though?
The shop.
Yeah.
I know, you'd be pretty dumb to have a business and not be insured.
Yeah, okay.
But
some people
anyway,
can't afford it. But
I know some people can't afford
What
it.
about this? What about this?
But anyway, Uncle John came
Okay, sorry.
and he brought me food and they let me have it and they let me have my cigarettes and matches. And the judge goes, yeah, sentenced you to Borstal 2 years. But the judge who sentenced me was Judge and he had lost a son who was on acid in Wellington, jumped off the fucking roof of a building and killed himself. So he should never have been allowed to sentence people on the charge of why his son had died.
Okay.
And he was a hypocrite because he'd go to the golf club and drink whiskey and drive home on a Sunday and go to court on Monday and put drunk drivers in jail. Fucking piece of fucking crap he was.
Yeah.
Judge,
Okay.
he was an arsehole.
We might need to beep that name or something allegedly, but
Why? He's dead.
yeah, I know.
Good job.
Just
I'd love to have been there and go, I sentence you to death.
you almost seem to. This is the way this
I
podcast has
hated
gone.
him.
The way that I totally understand and I totally sympathise and I totally understand why you've been in that situation, but at the same time, one of the themes of this podcast seems to be just be glad that people have died.
At the moment.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm so sorry. That's horrible that they sent you as a kid who had made a mistake that a lot of kids do to jail. And
I don't think jail was that bad then, you know. Everybody had a job.
in jail?
In the
or-
jail, yeah.
Yeah.
And we got paid prison wages, but we also shopped with the government used to subsidise it. So like a cake of soap cost 5 cents and a toothbrush, and we had to buy all that sort of stuff, and we could buy figs of tobacco.
Figs of tobacco?
Yeah, bag.
That's not an expression.
And they were 8 cents.
Wow.
but the top wage was $1.76 a day.
Now if you want to get tobacco into prison, you've got like...
Well, you can't get... We were allowed to smoke, but we weren't allowed lighters. We weren't allowed matches or lighters. You had to go to the staff. All the staff wore them round their necks, and you had to go to them for a light. Because Arahata is that old, they put somebody in one of the cells, and they wanted to burn up their cell, they'd burn the whole prison down.
Was it like wooden?
Yeah, and it was scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's far out, Karen. Yeah, that is...
But we had lighters.
And traumatic thing.
We had
17
lighters.
years
We
old.
had lighters. We were good.
Yeah.
And we never got caught.
Yeah. Good on you, man. You were good. Well, that was a goddamn roller coaster. And I'm sorry you had to... I hope you're okay with sharing that story, right?
Yeah, of course.
Because, but there's a traumatic... That's like... That shouldn't have fallen the way that fell. I shouldn't. Like, I don't think now someone would go to jail for
this
a couple of tabs of
policewoman
acid.
who drove with me in the car, she sat in the back seat. I didn't go in a police wagon. I went in a car.
Yeah.
And they dropped me off. She said, "You'll be all right, Karen." She kept telling me, "You'll be all right," because it was the fear of the unknown. And then get there and all that. I'd been there about 3 months.
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh, there's a policewoman here to see you, but you don't have to go and see them if you don't want to." And I thought, I'll go and see what's going on.
Yeah.
And it was the woman who sat in the back with me. And she said, I think about you quite a lot, Karen. She said, "Are you all right?" And I went, "Yeah." And she gave me a packet of cigarettes, which I smuggled out. She gave me cigarettes, the policewoman, because they never searched me.
That is quite a nice. That's quite nice of the policewoman. Right?
I think so. What a lovely lady she was.
Yeah.
And she must have thought about me all that time. And was I all right? She said, "I just wanted to come and see that you were okay."
That's so lovely.
Yeah.
And she realised it was fucked up that they were sending you at that age to jail for that offence. Like, it's outrageous.
I did 7 months. I got in there on the 18th of February, and I got out on the 18th of September, 1 week before my 18th birthday.
Okay.
And the last 2 months was on work release. I was going out to work, so I was only in the jail at night and weekends.
Yeah.
And they used to take $20 out of my pay every week for my board. Okay, I'm not paying you. You had to take your pay.
You had to pay to be in jail.
You had to pay board if you went to work. You take it back to the jail, and they opened it and counted it all out, and into your bag, into your rent. No, I'm not paying any rent this week. You'll have to evict me. Fancy paying to stay in jail.
That is outrageous. And the other interesting thing is you would always say that wholesome thing that was you never went back to jail since.
No, I never got caught again.
But now you've got
I don't like this place, especially on Friday and Saturday nights. I used to think, what would I be doing now with my mates? And you could look out and you could see all the lights and... okay, back to cards.
I wanted to follow Storytime with Karen with a story from behind the scenes of New Zealand Today, one of my own stories.
Okay.
But what I realised is that my life is not nearly as interesting or dramatic or as traumatic or as fucking outrageous as yours. There's no exciting bloody gnomes who are sneaking through your house robbing people. So, oh God, I've got to make myself look bad here. And I'm still sorry. Apologies to the ladies at Subway in Invercargill, because I thought it was funny. We did we still want to do them, these hammocks, like these segments to join the stories together on New Zealand Today. And one weird feature of Invercargill is they weirdly have a drive-through Subway. Like Subways are normally, the sandwich store. But they have like a normal fast food place. They have a drive-through on their Subway as well. So I thought that was funny because, as you said, you pick. That's the weird thing about it, right? Yeah. And we had about 6 people in the van as a crew. So the joke I was doing, what I did, and I'm an asshole for doing this, I realise this now. We drove into the Subway. I go, "Hello, I'd like to order a sandwich." And they go, "What bread?" And I go, "What types of bread are they?" and they read out all the types of bread, and then I go, could I get wheat bread? And they go, would you like cheese? And then I go, what type of cheese are there? And they read out the type of cheese, and then I order the cheese, and I go through every ingredient, and then I order my sandwich, and I pay at the window, and then it's the next person's order. So we drive around the building, and we drive around away again. That is an asshole joke, and I feel bad about that now.
Well, I think it's hilarious.
But by the time we got to the fifth or sixth person, they were sick of my shit, and I got, like, as a joke, got angry with them. They're like, you already know what types of bread. I was like, I don't know what types of bread there are. Like, I was like getting joke. I was supposed to be a joke, but they heard through. They didn't see me. They didn't see my comical faces. They just thought I was an abusive asshole, which I was. So they got very upset with me. And I felt apologies to the wonderful people at Subway in Chicago. I'm sorry about that. I apologized to them in face to face. I bought them some chocolates from the petrol station next door. But after, I don't know why I was telling that part of the story. Just racked up guilt about being a bad person. We got out of the subway and we drove around to park the van, and we parked next to the road, and we got out and we straightened my tie and we tried to figure out what we're doing because that subway thing was a disaster. We were assholes. And someone just yells out from where I couldn't tell, someone just yells, "Hey guy, want a root?" And I couldn't figure out where the voice was coming from. It was coming from the jail. The jail, there's a fence. There's about 10 metres, and the jail is right there. You can just talk to people in jail in Invercargill. This is a tourist attraction. It's the most interesting thing in Invercargill. It blew my mind. Someone was just yelling, "I'll give you some Tim Tams." And I don't know what Tim Tams means, but I don't want to find out. And so we got the cameras rolling, and I started kind of interviewing them in jail.
Aren't they biscuits?
Yeah, no, they are biscuits. But when he said you want some Tim Tams, I thought maybe it was like a double entendre or like a weird sex thing. I don't want to know what Tim Tams is my point is. So I start interviewing them because this is amazing. In Invercargill, you can just talk to the people in jail. And turns out you can't. What happened is as I was interviewing them, the alarm just goes, and literally a guy on the voice comes over and goes, "Please get away from the fence. Please get away from the fence." And then we film me running away and stuff like that. But this is just such an interesting feature of New Zealand where
I didn't know all this.
Yeah, when people will, because right next to McDonald's and Subway, they'll get the McDonald's and go and eat outside. A guy who I know who was in jail, I think the guy who stole a monkey from the zoo, he told me that women would come and flash their boobs on a Friday night and stuff like that. So all going off. So that was my behind the scenes of New Zealand Today. And sorry again to the people at Subway. I was an asshole to you and I apologise. Let's finish the podcast with some quickfire questions from my social media accounts.
Okay.
Karen, you can solve anyone's problem pretty much, right? Dear Karen, I'm a girl. How do I tell my friend, who's also a girl, that I like her? Like her. Like they're like romantically interested is what I'm reading.
Yeah. I like you. And then they go, I like you too. And you say, I really like you. I like you more than just a friend. I'd like to be more than just your friend. I want to be your girlfriend.
Oh, that was sweet. However, and I think that's a good solution.
Oh, right.
I like the honest approach. I have done this with female friends of myself, and it's kind of ruined the friendship a little bit. Like, they haven't been keen, and then that's fine, but then it makes it awkward, I think, for them, and, it changes the dynamic.
I got on really well with this girl in Arahata. And she was a lesbian, and I wasn't. And I said to her one day, how come you've never hit on me? She said, because I have friends, and I have girlfriends, and you are my friend. And you'll always be just my friend.
Oh.
And I went, well, that's good because I'm not a lesbian. She goes, I know that.
Do you ever wonder about, like, because, sexuality is shivers, I'm getting us off traffic here, but this is something that really interests me. Sexuality is a spectrum, right?
Yeah.
And I'm always fascinated at the idea that, like, I try not to be homophobic or transphobic. I try and, be respectful of everyone and their orientation.
Rainbow coloured, whatever it is.
That's right, the rainbow colours. Yeah. And I have this weird thing where I love, like, a lot of my favourite music, and one of my favourite songs is The Magnetic Fields, I Thought You Were My Boyfriend. One of my favourite movies there's Moonlight, and I just recently saw Brokeback Mountain, and that blew me away as well. I really like same-sex love stories. Really love them, but I don't consider myself to be gay. Far out. What am I doing? Same as on the podcast. But like, I'm not attracted to men. I don't think in any way. But I do wonder whether that is my like deep entrenched homophobia that I've grown up with. You know, growing up in a homophobic society. Like I used to use, you know, gay slurs all the time. We didn't necessarily mean it to attack gay people. Just like we used them casually. You know, anything that was bad growing up was gay. We used to call each other the F word, like on the playground and stuff like that at primary school. Even I've grown up my whole life being told, you know, being gay is something you don't want to be. You know, like my nickname at school basically was gay because my name's Guy, and it just changes there so quickly. I do wonder whether like any sort of like spectrum I might be has been like almost like beaten out of me. You know, do you ever wonder anything like that or nah?
No, because I take people as they are. We've got a transvestite lives in this complex, and she's lovely.
Transgender, I think is what you say now. But yeah.
Transgender, yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mina.
Sorry, Mina.
But anyway, she's lovely.
Shout to Mina.
She's really lovely, yeah.
But do you not think love is love, and like you should want to, you know, you should be able to, like, I'm just like, I should be able to, I'm almost like,
yes,
it's gone from being
should be able to go with whoever they want as long as that other person wants what they want to.
No, but so should I. Like, it's weird that I just have like a block. I'm like, definitely no men, and that's like
but
weird.
I definitely wouldn't sleep with a woman.
Yeah.
And I know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you heard of strap a dick to me.
What's strap a dick to me?
Strap a dick to me.
What are you talking about, Karen? What are you talking about?
Strap a dick to me.
Strap a dick to me. That's not. You got to give more context. You can't just say that over and over again.
Strap a dick
I know what you're
to
saying.
me. Yeah.
I know what you're saying. I'm saying you've got to explain.
We used to say it
what strap a dick to me is.
Well, to woman, I presume.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay.
But we used to just say it, and we thought it was funny.
Yeah, it is funny. Yeah, so it was the joke of the year, mate. Well done. Here we go. Finish on a wholesome thing. Karen and Guy, what are your 3 favourite places to visit in New Zealand? I guess it means on holiday. Kai Teddy Nelson, that's where I grew up going to
I've never been
the
on
campgrounds.
that many holidays. When I was a child, we always went to Pauparumu, Pakokariki, bloody caravan park. I used to hate it there.
Okay.
We go over
Shout out to the Parapara Caravan Park.
which I hated.
Yeah, well, okay, we know the opposite of a shout out. Fuck you, Parapara
And we used to go,
Caravan
and we
Park.
used to go to this place. I can't even remember what it's called, where we used to put up a tent. I hated camping, absolutely despised it. And then we go where friends of my dad's, Lake Fury, had a batch. Oh, and I hated that too. I hated being away from my hometown. I just hated it.
But the question was...
I don't have 3 favourite places. Petone.
Yeah, but it's not really a holiday destination. Like, where are you going on holiday to? Karori? Like, that's where people live on their day-to-day life. Petoni's more of a suburb, you know.
I went on a holiday to Nelson.
Yeah? There you go.
No, I ran away from home when
That's
I was
my hometown.
14.
You don't like Nelson.
I was...
That's not a holiday.
I ran away... Me and my girlfriend ran away from home, and we got down to Nelson. And then anyway, we got arrested. And they said, now, we're going to put you up in a B&B, and we'll come pick you up in the morning.
Yeah.
The police put us in a B&B. We had shower, and we washed our stuff, and we put the heater on, and we dried our underwear. And at 6 o'clock, we left the B&B, and we thought it was a hill, but when daylight came, we were on somebody's garden.
Yeah.
And we watched the police go to get us, as if we'd still be there.
Oldest trick in the book.
And when he dropped us off, he said, don't try leaving because there's only one way in and one way out. We got on a bus and we seen them coming, so we got off the bus and then we hid, and then we hitchhiked down to Nelson, and then we hitchhiked back in again. And then we hitchhiked out again the next day.
Wait.
They tell you, don't try and hitchhike out because there's only one way out, one way in, and you won't get away with it.
Why'd you hitchhike out and then back in again?
Because we were crazy. I mean, I was a
Karen.
rebel. I was a rebel without a cause.
You're really...
And I ended up in Napier. We ended up in Napier.
This was her answer to what are your 3 favourite holiday destinations, by the way. Karen, I think we've accidentally recorded potentially the greatest podcast that the world has ever heard. And we've got to do more episodes of this. We'll be coming back with more adventures of Karen, the Rebel Without a Cause, for episode 2 of the New Zealand Today podcast.
Yeah. Heaps more stories.
My name is Guy Williams. That is Karen Hill.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
Tell your friends if you enjoyed this podcast, because we want to, what do we want to do? Take over the world? Or just have some people listen?
We want to entertain the world.
We want to entertain the world.
Yeah.
And before we leave, Karen, we've got to give some sort of advice or some sort of message, just to inspire the youths. Got any message or anything for them?
If the police tell you can't do something, don't believe them.
It's really good for the kids. See you later. Bye.
See ya.
Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed listening to Karen and myself, please support the show by telling your friends and spreading the good word on social media. And subscribe to the New Zealand Today podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, or wherever good podcasts are found. Also, where bad podcasts are found. The New Zealand Today podcast is a production of Freddie Boy Podcasts. That's a real thing, not just something we made up 5 minutes ago. It was edited by Luke, the Phantom Menace Earl, and was made with the help of the legends at New Zealand On Air. It's like a Dane Rumble video.